How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the Jim Masters Show, entertainment, lifestyle, celebrity talk show series live, coming at you live here from the East Coast of the United States in the greater New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, tri-state area. And it's my pleasure to be here with you. And thanks for making us a part of your day. We are so excited because we have a returning guest. So many of our guests come on our show because they like, I guess, the warmth, the conversational style. We don't really call these interviews. We call these really good, solid conversations with everybody involved, our interaction that is happening with our international audience as well while the shows are on. We just love it. And so much so, I guess, that the guests want to come back. And this is Freda Payne, music legend, singer, actress extraordinaire. She's an American icon, a musical treasure, an institution, and everything you could use to describe this classy lady, this talented lady. Freda Payne is returning to the Jim Masters Show. This is her return visit with much fanfare. You may remember the last time she was a special guest here on the Jim Masters Show series. Not only did we talk about her extraordinary career, and you can go back in the archives and see that full conversation and all the beautiful things that we talked about, as well as the interaction with our viewing audience around the world. But one special thing that happened, because it was around the time of September of last year, we sang happy birthday to one another. She sang it to me. I sang it to her because our birthdays are around the similar time of the year. It was one of the most special moments on the Jim Masters Show series of 900, almost 1,000 episodes, which so far and counting, which is extraordinary. So she's back. She has some really fantastic, exciting news, special announcements. A lot of beautiful things are happening and continuing to happen in her life. And we're celebrating all of that here on the show. Freda Payne, music legend, singer, and actress. Of course, you know her from Band of Gold. That is, of course, a legendary classic song, but so much more. She's joining us again from California, from her beautiful home in Encino. And we're so excited to have her here. If you would like to participate and not just watch, but you want to comment while the show is on, subscribe to our YouTube channel right now, Jim Masters TV, and you can comment in the interactive way at our JMS Levity Hall chat room, which is open and available right now. So yeah, we are so excited to have her back because there's a fresh new bevy of details and exciting things that she's going to be celebrating with us here on the show. Of course, she is truly an American icon in music and so much more. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the background. If you're new to our show, well, talented singer and actress Freda Payne. She was born September 19th, and of course, I on the 24th. So that's why we sang happy birthday to each other back in September, and it was so special. But again, she is here because we're celebrating a lot of exciting, cool things that are happening. She was born, of course, in Detroit, Michigan. She modeled, took ballet, and Afro-Cuban dance. And while at Hutchins Middle School, she appeared on the nationally televised Ted Max, the original amateur hour, singing jingles. As well, Freda was featured on WJR Radio's Make Way for Youth and many other local television and radio shows. Her mother spurned a contract from then unknown Barry Gordy. And when she graduated from Central High School, Freda Payne toured with Pearl Bailey's Musical Review and sang with a Duke Ellington band. Her first album was After the Lights Go Down for ABC's Impulse Records in 1962, that is, 62. Yeah. Moving to New York City, Freda made appearances on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, The Merv Griffin Show, The Dick Cavett Show, all legends we always talk about here on the Jim Masters Show. In 1964, she joined the Four Tops, Billy Eckstine, and Nipsey Russell on the Quincy Jones Tour. Freda also was understudy for Leslie Uggams in Broadway's Hallelujah Baby and performed in the show 5 times. Stardom for Freda Payne began when she signed with Invictus Records that was run by her old Detroit friends, Brian Holland, Edward Holland Jr., and Lamont Dozier, formerly of Motown, and in 1969. Her smash single, Band of Gold, in 1970 was ranked number 1 in the UK and 3 in the USA, and her first gold record. Other hits included Deeper and Deeper, You Bring Me Joy, and the anti-war Bring the Boys Home. As her star kept rising, Freda Payne appeared in television specials and toured Europe and Japan. And although she left Invictus in 73 to date, she has recorded well beyond 21 albums, including several remakes of Band of Gold. In 74, she made the cover on Jet magazine after she was dubbed a Dame of Malta by the Knights of Malta and the Sovereign Military and Hospital Order of St. John of Jerusalem by the Prince of Romania. She also hosted Today's Black Woman, a talk show in 1980. And yeah, I tell you, that was from 80 to 81 before joining the cast of Duke Ellington's Sophisticated Ladies in 1982. She also started productions of Ain't Misbehaving with Della Reese, The Blues in the Night. Yeah. Jelly's Last Jam with Gregory Hines and Savion Glover in the 1990s. She also has film appearances in Private Obsession, Sprung, Ragdoll, The Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps, and Fire and Ice. 2009, she appeared on American Idol and sang Band of Gold. In 2010, she joined Kanye West, Jordan Sparks, Jennifer Hudson, Barbara Streisand, and many more on We Are the World for Haiti Relief. 2011, she sang a duet with Cliff Richard called Saving a Life from his Soulicious album. She also toured England with Cliff in the fall of 2011, recorded a new jazz-based album for the Mac Ave label titled Come Back to Me, produced by Bill Cunliffe. And in April 2018, she returned to the stage with glowing reviews in Ella, First Lady of Song at the Delaware Theater Company in Wilmington, Delaware. Most recently, she released an EP of duets titled Let There Be Love, featuring Freda singing with Johnny Mathis and Dee Dee Bridgewater and Kenny Lattimore and Kurt Elling. Also, she has been busy writing her memoir, which is out and available. That is Band of Gold and Memoir, Yorkshire Publishing. That came out in 2021 with Mark Bego. In 2022, she released a new single entitled Just to Be With You, and so much more beyond that. This is just the short list we're giving you, folks. Her prolific career continues to flourish and prosper for as long as her creative juices keep flowing, and her indelible mark on the music industry is far from over. Again, from those early days to extraordinary hits and great songs and all kinds of newer releases, and again, all of the originals. We're going to be talking about that and something quite special. She is participating in an upcoming concert celebration, which is part of International Jazz Day. I'm going to tell you about that. Look at this. Remember this one? Oh, yeah. We're going back in time with a lot. There's Band of Gold, of course, and deeper. We are celebrating this icon as she returns to the Jim Master Show. We couldn't get enough of her last time. We wanted her to come back, and she said, absolutely, Jim, I'll come back on the show. I enjoyed last time. Just to be with you. And again, she truly is an icon. There is her memoir, Band of Gold. Freda Payne. Get it. I have it. It's extraordinary. It's a page turner, and you'll definitely want to pick that up. Of course, you can get it at Amazon. It's highly rated. Everybody loves it. There is a wonderful celebration and musical tribute that Freda is a part of, and you can see it on the screen there. It's something very, very special, and it is a tribute to another music icon, and we're going to tell you about that when Freda joins us in just a second. But let me tell you just a little bit about it as well. The United Nations declared International Jazz Day back in 2011 to highlight jazz and its diplomatic role of uniting people from all corners of the globe. Every year it's commemorated on April 30th, and people celebrate around the world. On April 30th, the Barbara Morrison Performing Arts Center in Leimert Park, California, will present tribute to Barbara Morrison featuring Women of Jazz to honor the memory of a legendary blues and jazz vocalist, international performer, professor, community activist, and three-time Grammy-nominated artist Barbara Morrison. In addition to performing around the world, as well as famed venues like Carnegie Hall, it was her hometown where those hopes and dreams came true. She dedicated her life to building up the LA music community and fostering up and coming talent. And in 2009, she opened the Barbara Morrison Performing Arts Center. 2 years later, she founded the California Jazz and Blues Museum in the same area. Legends and rising stars will appear on Sunday the 30th. International Jazz Day featuring songbirds, the legendary Grammy-nominated singer-actress Freda Payne is going to be there. Yes. jazz singer and well known for her 1970 Motown hit Band of Gold, which is the title of, again, the new memoir. Jazz chanteuse and recording artist Sylvia Boyd will be there as well, legendary singer in LA, and so many others. Her voice, along with ensemble members, have been heard on award-winning motion pictures and soundtracks. Brigitte Rios-Purdy, winner of the LA Critics Award, Next Generation of Blues Jazz Angels, will be there as well. And it's going to be fantastic. We're going to tell you more about all of this as part of the International Jazz Day tribute and celebration. And what you're seeing on the screen right now is Barbara Morrison, and this is all in celebration of her. So really, really something special. And again, it is truly my honor and pleasure to welcome once again music legend Freda Payne to the Jim Masters Show live series. We love having her here. I know you guys do as well. And here she is. Freda, welcome back to the show. It is so wonderful to have you here.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Jim Masters. It's nice to be back.
That's it, I tell you. So have you enjoyed your post-birthday celebration? When we chatted, we sang happy birthday to one another, and that was so special with we're September babies.
Yeah, my birthday, September the 19th, and believe me, I had 3 separate celebrations.
Did you?
Oh, yes. I had a celebration the day before. Then I had one the day of my birthday, and then I had another one the day after my birthday.
Yeah. But of course, that's lots of cake. Did you have slices of cake?
And these were like, this was like just different people.
See, and they're calling to celebrate you again.
Yeah, no, so it was wonderful. I was, I turned the big 80, and a dear friend of mine wanted to give me a big thing at a theater, invite like 150 or 200 people, and have Kenny Lattimore and people like that were going to perform. And I said, you know what? I don't want all that. I don't want all that boo-ha-ha.
Yes.
First of all, I don't want to broadcast it that I'm turning, I'm getting ready to like reach the big 80. I don't want to broadcast it all over the world. I'm going to start to curse. But then again, I said, I just want to have some nice, private little gatherings here and there. And I did. I had a luncheon at very posh restaurant in Beverly Hills called Avra. That was the Saturday before my birthday. And then I had, that was with a few, very private friends, and my son was there. Oh, by the way, my son, Gregory Abbott Jr., it's his birthday as well. So it's not all about Freda. It's about my son as well.
His birthday is the same time, 19th as well?
He was born on my birthday.
Wow.
September. Yeah.
So another September baby. Yeah.
Right. And then I had another party at a restaurant on my birthday that evening. And a few of my very, very close friends. There's only like about maybe 10 or 12 people. And even a friend of mine flew in from Lexington, Kentucky to help me celebrate as well. And then the day after my birthday, I had another party that was given for me in Beverly Hills. And that was attended by Beverly Sassoon, Priscilla Presley, Kay Douglas, Billy Vera. You know Billy Vera, the musician singer, and Richard Adrisi, who wrote "Never My Love."
Oh yeah.
So that was it. So I'm happy. I'm done.
You're still floating from that, yes, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you've been really busy, a lot of wonderful things happening since we've chatted last, which is very exciting.
Oh, I've got to tell you, first of all, I recorded a song called Lazy Afternoon, and it's on the album that Jeff Goldblum recorded. He's got a brand new album on the Decca label.
Yes.
And I recorded Lazy Afternoon, and he's playing the piano on it.
Yes.
Along with his band.
And you just did that on Jimmy Kimmel, right?
Yeah, we were on Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel on ABC. I saw it. It was Jimmy fantastic.
Jeff was playing, and the band was the horns were blasting, and
So
It
you
was
went from
wonderful.
you
I
went from
love
Jimmy
Jimmy Kimmel.
Kimmel to Jimmy Masters.
Hello.
This is your Jimmy week.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love it.
it was such and he's got a wonderful setup there, and his like the dressing rooms and the green room, everything is like the best. I mean, it's first class all the way.
Oh,
And believe
yes.
me, I've done some other TV shows where it wasn't that nice, but this
Right.
was like the best, as good as you can get.
Oh,
And then I
yes.
did that. And this weekend, this coming Sunday, here in LA, I'm
Yes.
going to be performing for my. This is called La Voix Studios. It's my niece, and she's a vocal coach, and this is her yearly gala, and it's going to be a tribute to the Supremes. My sister Sherry
Ooh,
Payne was a Supreme.
that's
She
right.
replaced Jean Terrell back in 1973 and so she performed with Mary Wilson, Cindy Birdsong, and then when Cindy left the group, um, Susie Green joined the group. And so she traveled all over the world as a Supreme, recorded on Motown, and it was like she was the lead singer. She was the lead singer. Of course, Mary took some lead. You,
Mm,
we're back. We're
we
back.
are back. That's it. We
Okay.
are back.
So I'm doing that this Sunday, and it's going to be up in Beverly Hills, Bel Air, at it's called the American Jewish University, and it's going to be presented there in their auditorium. So that's this Sunday. You can
Wow.
go. You can let's see, yeah,
Is
this
it
Sunday,
this
American
Sunday?
Jewish University, and it's the Lavoie Gala, yearly gala,
Linda
and
Johnson is watching. She says, "Hi, Frida. I remember you on the Bobby Darin show in 1973. You did a great job singing your duet with Bobby, and I have always loved Band of Gold."
oh,
Amazing.
you said what's her name? Beverly Johnson?
That's Linda Johnson
Oh,
watching.
Linda Johnson. Oh,
Yes,
when I did that, God, that was way back. That was like in the 70s.
73.
Honey, when I did that duet with Bobby Darin, and I think we did, I think the song was, I don't know, was it Ain't No Mountain High Enough, or was it something else? Anyway, I remember we did that wonderful duet, and and we were looking at each other, and he kept moving in closer and closer to me. And I said, "Oh my God, is he going to kiss me?"
The suspense, right? The
Right.
suspense.
And then, of course, and then the following weekend, which would be the 30th of April, that's when I will be performing at the Barbara Morrison Performing Arts Center. This is a tribute to Barbara, and this is why I'm participating, because I love Barbara. She was a wonderful artist, a great jazz artist. I mean, she even had, I think she taught a class at UCLA
Mm,
in jazz and music. And I had performed there with
yeah, she
Herbie,
was
and
a
and
yeah,
um, we were like, she was wonderful, and she was such a strong lady.
yeah,
She and she had health challenges too.
yeah,
She's no longer with us. She
yeah.
passed away last year, and that's why this is going to be a tribute to her, and that's why I'm involved in it, because of Barbara Morrison.
That's so wonderful too, and it's the coming up the International Jazz Day, which they sort of started back in 2011. That's pretty exciting too, isn't it?
Well, it's the same thing. It's all
Yeah,
the same thing. I'm performing on the 30th of April at the Barbara Morrison Performing Arts Center, located in Leimert Park. And it just so happens that it's International Jazz Day, and we're doing this a nice tribute to honor Barbara Morrison.
which is absolutely beautiful. What are some other things that you've been up to since we chatted last?
Okay, and after that, let's see, after that, I'm doing my thing again. I'm in concert. This is me. I do 90 minutes or more, and I'm going to be performing at the Catalina Bar and Grill Jazz Club in Hollywood. It's located on McCadden Place. in Hollywood. And that's going to be May the 13th. And that'll be my show. So
That's
that'll be me,
fantastic.
May the 13th. And then after that, in June, I'm going to be performing in Pasadena with the Pasadena Symphony Orchestra, along with Michael Feinstein. And I think there'll be other singers too, but I will be featured along with Michael Feinstein. And this will be this will be the 24th of June. The
That's
24th of June,
fantastic.
Pasadena Symphony Orchestra in Pasadena, Michael Feinstein.
Oh, what a great person to be performing with, another incredible
I
super
love
talent.
him.
Uh,
He is wonderful. He is such a great artist. And he's a
un-
great jazz artist, you know. He's a
yes,
great pianist and a great singer. Not a good
that's
singer, a great singer.
a great singer as well.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
love him.
And you've been releasing, some material along the way too, right? Which has been wonderful.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, that's Come Back to Me Love on Mack Avenue. That was released back in 2014.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you already showed the other album, Let There Be Love, the one I do the
Yes.
duets. I have
Yes.
Kenny Lattimore, Johnny Mathis,
Mm,
and Dee Dee Bridgewater, and the great Kurt Elling. He's one of our, to me, one of our great male jazz artists right now.
yeah.
Yeah. And then
How is it, performing with some of like the Mathis and so many other, it's incredible, huh? These duets.
I love it. And of course, we recorded all this whole session was done at Capitol Records in Studio A, the big band and strings. So it's really nice. It's really nice. It's a great listening album. Let me tell you that. They
Oh,
can get it. You can get it either, order it of the live CD. And then some people who don't have CDs anymore,
yeah.
they can, they can download it, or whatever, download it, Pandora, Spotify, all those different
Do you,
music formats.
all the different, yes, streaming services, everything now. Do you, do you ever pinch yourself when you look at your body of work and the extraordinary music and entertainment and joy, Miss Freda Payne, that you have shared with the world for so long and continue to? Do you ever pinch yourself and say, wow, this really has been and continues to be quite an amazing ride? I bet you must count your blessings every day.
Well, you know what? When you were doing your let's say, introductory, speech, which was you were reading literally my my biography. Um, I was kind of like sitting back thinking, wow, that's a lot of stuff. He's going on and on and on. I said, oh my God,
You've
just to
done a
think I
lot.
did all that. And that reminds me of the song My Way,
Yes.
Paul Anka's My Way. And I
Yeah.
said, just to think I did all that, and not in a shy way. I did it my way.
Boy,
Yeah.
that's a title of another book, just what you
That's
just
the
said.
title of
Just to
my,
think I did all of that.
yeah,
Not in a shy way, but my
but
way.
my way. Right.
Wow. You know, those early inspirations for you, Frida, growing up in Detroit, I mean, Motown and so much more. What were some of those early inspirations that sort of pointed you in the direction of wanting to do this as a career and sharing your joy and your beautiful talent with the world?
Well, it was simply because when I discovered that I had a talent, that I wasn't just like a mediocre singer or anything like that. And people started pushing me and saying, you ought to consider being professional because you sing pretty good. And that's when I decided, hey, maybe I better go for this. Because hey, listen, I'm not the smartest girl in the class. And I'm not, and I just decided, and I loved everything theatrical. I loved being in my modern dance class at school. I had taken ballet as well, and I love theater. I mean, I just love anything to do with theater, singing, dancing, and it just seemed like a natural for me. And back then when I came along, there were no performing arts schools. Like now we have them in New York, you have them. They actually have a performing arts school now in Detroit. They didn't have that when I came along, you know, and where you could have developed your talent and your craft even more. So everything I did, I had to just do on my own, or find a way to do it, or just that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And of course, then I started to enter talent contests. That's how it really began.
Mm.
I started to enter talent contests, and I would sometimes I would win, sometimes I would win first place, sometimes I won second place, and then eventually I auditioned to be on a TV show called the Ed McKenzie Dance Hour that came on every Saturday afternoon in Detroit. It was NBC. It was Channel 4, NBC. And it was sort of like um, American Bandstand, you know, Dick Clark's American Bandstand. His was international out of Philadelphia.
Hmm.
And this was almost just like that. The only difference is that they had a segment of the show that was designated for talent contest, and there was just four acts. And so I auditioned for it, and I got chosen to do the show, and I won. And then 6 months later, they called me back to be on the show again and compete, and I won the second time. So after that, I said, I must have something, because
Something is there. There is
something's
something there.
going on here. Something's going. I was 13 when I did it. I was 13 then, and after that, Barry Gordy, became aware of me because, it was sort of like I was the local girl in the city that was doing things, talented, and he was kind of scouting around looking for talent. And so he came to my dance class. He would come to my dance class and watch me dance. And then we he took me into the recording studio. He had he had yet founded Motown, or any he didn't have a studio of his own at all. So there was a studio on West Grand Boulevard. Ironically, it's on the same street of where Hitsville is located today in Detroit.
Hmm.
And in matter of fact, it's just almost within like a couple of blocks away. It was called United Sound. It doesn't exist anymore. But United Sound was the major recording studio in Detroit. And that's where at when I was 16, that's where I recorded some radio jingles. I recorded radio jingles, and that's when I had to join the union AFTRA.
That's right.
Yeah. And so anyway, I was 14, the
Wow.
recording studio called United Sound. I was 14. He wrote some song. He wanted to get a record deal for me, but then he said he had a meeting with my mother at our house, and they were in our living room. He was in our living room with my mother, and I sat on the staircase in between the dining room and the living room, and I'm like listening, and they're going back and forth and back and forth, and he would make a proposal of what he wanted as a manager. He wanted to manage me, and my mother would always say, well, Barry, I think you're asking too much for commission, and the money she would make, she would have to, the money, it would come out of her pay.
Mm.
So my mother said, what does that leave my daughter?
Right.
My mother didn't agree with his business tactics at
No.
all.
No.
And so we passed on that.
Yeah.
That's what happened back then.
Yes. And then what happened from there when you passed on that? was the next chain of events for you, Freda?
Well, on the road. And then also the same year at the age of 17, I auditioned for Duke Ellington.
That's right.
And he invited me to come to Pittsburgh to sing with the band, to come up as a guest artist to sing with the band. And that happened. And then he sent a contract. He wanted me to sign a contract to perform with him for 10 years, a 10-year contract. What happened was we had a family friend who was an attorney, and he read it, and my mother read it, and they just wanted to change some things, just little. They didn't want it to be 10 years. They felt, and then of course my mother felt like I would have to go on the road with Freda because she's just 17 years old with all those men,
Yeah.
And when I was 17, I was like a grown woman as far as I was well developed. I was, that kind of thing. So that never happened. But he actually did want me to sign as his band singer for 10 years. Yeah.
Look at this wonderful shot. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful shot. Was that around that time?
That shot, I was living in New York, and that was taken in the 60s. And that was, oh my God, that was, I think I must have been like about, let me see, about 23, 22, 23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful shot. You did move to New York. That was quite a move to the big city and the Big Apple. And of course, you appeared on Johnny Carson and a lot of Dick Cavett and so much more. What was it like when you decided to move to the East Coast and to good old New York?
Well, wait a minute. What? Oh, I moved from Detroit to New York. And it was daring. It was scary, but it was like I was ready. I just wanted to get out of Detroit. I just wanted to, go out there and just live my life, And that's what I did. I think my first residence was at I stayed at the YWCA on 8th Avenue and I think between 50th and 51st. Yeah, this was way back then.
Yeah.
I remember it was so far back. Madison Square Garden was still located on 8th Avenue in the 50s.
Oh, yes.
Because I could see it from my room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You, of course, I mentioned Johnny Carson, Merv Griffin, Dick Cavett.
And I got booked. I got a manager. His name was Joe Scandori. I worked in his club in Brooklyn. It was called the Elegante. And it was very nice. He had people. That's where I worked with the Four Tops there.
Yes.
And Flip Wilson, he got his start there.
Yes.
I worked with him. And
Nipsey Russell you worked with too?
Who?
Nipsey Russell.
I worked with Nipsey Russell up
Billy
in
Eckstine.
At the up in Harlem.
Yeah. On
Billy Eckstine at
Quincy Jones tour.
Oh, and I worked with Quincy Jones with his big band at the Apollo, and Billy Eckstine was the headliner, and Quincy was the big band.
Yeah.
And also, let's see, Nipsey and Red Fox.
Red Fox.
Red Fox. I worked with Red Fox. He was on that tour with Quincy and Billy Eckstine, Red Fox, and myself.
Red Fox was a real firecracker, wasn't he?
Oh God, he was funny. He was something else. He was a trip. Let me tell you, he was a nice man.
Yeah.
And also another act that was on the show was Coles and Atkins, Honey Coles and Charlie Atkins. They were a dance duo together, tap dance, like the Nicholas brothers.
Yes. You
Yeah.
also, this is another great opportunity that came along, understudy for Leslie Uggams in Broadway's Hallelujah Baby and performed in the show 5 times.
Right. I was hired as an understudy, and 3 weeks into the job of being an understudy, they said, you're going to go on, because I think Leslie had to have some little minor thing, medical procedure gone, to do. And they said, you're going to go on in a week. So they prepared me and all that, and the blocking. And I went on, and I think it was a Tuesday, and I got a standing ovation when the curtain, when the curtain, went down and then
And
came
then
up and was
came
standing.
up
There
and
was a
yeah.
standing ovation. And then I went on after that. Periodically, I went on another 5 times.
Yeah. Mm. Did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy the stage and Broadway and
I
that whole
loved it. Oh, I
Yeah,
loved it. It was great. I loved it.
yeah.
Mm.
Is that something you would ever consider again?
Of course.
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm working on my Ella show, Ella Fitzgerald first
Yes,
song. That is could be a possibility,
to
you know,
bring it there,
yeah,
huh?
to
Oh,
make that happen. Yeah, because I've
ah,
done the play, Ella,
yeah.
Ella, First Lady of Song. I've done that 4 times already now.
Yes, you
Mm.
did, right, exactly. And then, of course, the stardom began when you're signed with Invictus Records, and, of course, here comes the smash hit Band of Gold in 1970. Could
1970,
yeah,
Band of
a
Gold.
big year, big time. Could you have imagined or ever thought that that would be that's pretty much everybody has this particular song that is their signature song, and whenever anybody mentions Freda Payne, right after comes Band of Gold all the time. Did you ever think that
I
that would
know.
happen?
I never thought that would happen like that. However, I knew I was going to have, once I signed with Holland Dozier and Holland, in my gut, I felt that I would have a hit. That's why I signed with them, because I wanted to get a hit record. And almost knew that I was going to get a hit, but I didn't know when it was going to happen. To tell you the truth, when I recorded Band to Go, I had no idea that was going to be the song. I had no idea that that song was going to be the hit, because there were other songs that were good too, you know,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
just that one, but there were other songs that were good.
Yeah. There you are there. But there's something what do you think it is about that song, Frida, that resonates with people, that connected with people on such a level that they love it so much and always mention it?
I think it was the hook about the controversy. It was like the controversy of, but that night on our honeymoon, we stayed in separate rooms. It was that controversy. That was sort of like the hook of it.
Yeah.
And I believe that it made it. It was a song that was not just a plain love song, like, oh baby, you love me, I love you, we're gonna get married, and we're gonna wear a band of gold together. No, this was about a little bit of a problem, a conflict here. It was like, what happened with this? It was
Yeah.
like, it was controversial.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And still, again, resonates with people to this very day. Of course, deeper and deeper. And You Brought Me Joy, two other really special songs in your life, huh?
Oh yeah, those were very well produced. You Brought the Joy, Deeper and Deeper. Uh, let's see, You Brought the Joy. Cherish What Is Dear to You. That was another one. Cherish What Is Dear to You.
Yes, that is another fantastic one as well. Yeah. And Bring the Boys Home was something very, very special too, wasn't it?
We didn't, I almost forgot. Bring the Boys Home was a gold record.
That's right.
The Boys Home was my second big hit. Yeah.
And that had a special message that resonated with people at that time that was very important too, right, Frida?
Yeah, because we were still at war with Vietnam. That was the Vietnam War era. And when that song came out, it kind of like raised a few eyebrows with the Republican Party because they perceived it as an anti-war song. And so I got a little flack about it, you know. And because people didn't care. People loved the song.
Right, exactly. And that's, it stands the test of time and
Yeah,
it's what,
over the years, Vietnam vets have come up to me and not only said, I'm a fan, I love that song, Bring the Boys Home, but I've had them tell me that that's the song that got them through it because it was a song of empathy. Like
right.
uh, it made them feel that somebody was caring, somebody was cared enough to write a song that uh, was saying, "Bring the boys home, bring them back alive," and that song was very well received, and especially Vietnam vets. I've had many over the years come up to me and tell me that.
It's really something very, very special and beautiful and impactful even to this day. And I should say in the introduction that I am speaking to Dame of Malta because you were dubbed Dame of Malta by the Knights of Malta and the
Yeah.
Sovereign Military and Hospital Order of St. John of Jerusalem by the
How
Prince of Romania. How special was that when that happened?
Oh, that was special. I was, of course,
Suspense.
I Prince Hassan Durrani of Afghanistan.
Mhm. Afghanistan, yeah. Mhm. So
Mhm.
you were mentioning you say that again? You were mentioning the Afghanistan?
Hassan Durrani, Prince Hassan Durrani of Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
That's who I was dating. I was dating him at the time. We didn't get really serious. He wanted to marry me, but that, of course, that never happened. We were just really like, just friends. We were good
Yeah,
friends.
really
Yeah.
good friends. You also had an opportunity to star in productions of Ain't Misbehavin' with Della Reese, The Blues in the Night, Jelly's Last
Oh yeah,
Gregory
yeah.
Hines, Samuel
Ain't
Glover.
misbehaving. That I did that.
Yeah.
That was back in around 1981 to 82, and we did theaters in the round. It was me. Okay, it was me, Della Reese, Linda Hopkins, Lonnie McNeil, and Ted Ross. It
Quite
was like
special.
all-star cast.
That's an all-star cast, absolutely. Also,
Yeah.
The Blues in the Night, Jelly's Last Jammer, Gregory Hines and Savion Glover in the into the 1990s, huh?
Well, I have to correct you. I did Jelly's Last Jam, and I did the tour for a year.
Yes,
But the tour was with Maurice Hines, Gregory's brother,
very
who in
nice.
my opinion is equally as talented as Gregory.
Gregory,
Yeah.
yeah,
Gregory did the Broadway. See, Gregory did the Broadway version, which was the
that's
big
right.
hit. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
he's
then when they did the
so
first
talented.
and the only national tour, that's when they got Maurice, his brother, to do it with Savion Glover and myself.
Yes. And
Yeah.
Gregory, of course, lost too soon.
I know.
Greatly missed.
I miss him so much.
Super, super talent.
Great
Um,
and a great guy, great guy,
you
and a
also,
great talent, a
and
great talent.
yeah. Film appearances too in Private Obsession and Sprung, Ragdoll, The Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps, and Fire and Ice. Do you enjoy the film roles?
Yes, I do. hmm I did another film called Cordially Invited.
Would you like to do more of that, Freda, if it came down
Oh
your
yeah,
direction?
if
Yeah.
it's offered and something I think I want to do, yeah.
Yes. And then in 2009, you appeared on American Idol and you sang Band of Gold, which was
It was me, Thelma Houston,
that's right.
uh, who did her hit "Don't Leave Me This Way,"
That's right.
and then it was JC and the Sunshine Band. So we were the three pros, on that
Yeah.
particular American Idol show.
And you know what's great at being especially on that show is introducing that song to whole new generations who
Oh
watched that
yeah.
series, right?
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, when Kimberly Locke was on American Idol, she sang Band of Gold one of those
That's
times.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
Mhm.
it's quite amazing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
What is a typical day like for you when you're not involved in music, which is so much of your life? What are some of the other things that you like to do, like around the house, and to sort of balance the busyness of the music career? What do you do to rest and find solace and peace?
Well, it sounds crazy. And you're like saying, "Oh, how boring." I like to watch television a lot.
That's
And
terrific.
my son says, "Mom, TV makes you dumb." I said, "Okay, well then I guess I'm dumb." No, but I
Depends
like
on which channel you got on, I guess.
around the house, and then I cook, cook a little bit for dinner.
What's your
Uh,
specialty? What's the Frida specialty?
well, I don't do this. I haven't done it in a long time, but my specialty is seafood and chicken gumbo.
Ooh,
Yeah, I'm good at that. So,
yeah, they'd love you in New
that's work, and then you got to go, to the supermarket or the
Get it
whatever
all.
to get all the seafood and the crab and the shrimp and sausage and chicken, and then the vegetables that go, the green peppers, onions, celery, and all that. And of course, all the spices that go in it as well. So
Mhm. Mm.
yeah, so that's one of them.
Do you like to garden at all? Do you like to, play in the yard a little
No,
bit?
I don't do that much. No. I mean, I
Yeah,
like to I like to go out and water the flowers and,
yeah,
and the grass.
yeah.
Yeah. Although I have a gardener that does that as well, but sometime in if it's like really dry.
Dry and right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like right now, I mean, we've had a lot of rain
You guys in
this
California have
year.
had unbelievable weather this year,
Unbelievable
haven't
weather.
you?
And on top of that, it's been unbelievably cool.
Yes,
When
considering
you
yeah,
say somebody told me that back in DC, I was doing a Zoom with about a week ago
yeah,
with somebody,
and it
and
was
one
cold.
one lady was in DC. She said I think she said 90 degrees.
Yeah, the ground here in the Northeast, it was
And I'm
around
like,
90 a couple
"What?"
days ago.
I
Yeah.
said, "Normally it would be the opposite. It would be 90
You
here,
guys.
and then you guys would be like in the 60s or something."
Yes, exactly.
But right now we're in I think the sick or low 60s
You are, huh?
or 50s. But it's
Which
chilly. I have to wear a jacket when I
you get
go out.
away. And I
I
bet
mean,
you it's a very stylish one too when you go out.
yeah, I have to wear a jacket. Sometimes a down coat or whatever,
Yeah.
but this is unseasonably cooler than it normally would be, I have to say.
It would definitely be too cold for that outfit, probably. A little too
Well,
chilly.
yeah, to
You'd need a
walk
light
around outside.
sweater you'd need a light sweater or something. Do you remember when this was?
Huh?
Is this 70s?
No, this was taken around 2000,
Wow,
around
fantastic show.
2008 or something.
Amazing,
That was
yes.
2008 or 2009.
Beautiful shot, really
Yeah.
beautiful
Also, I'd
shot.
like to mention another a single that I had out recently. It's called "Do You Still Dream About Me?" And
Yes.
that was produced by Michael Sutton of the Sound of LA. That's the label would be the Sound of LA. Michael Sutton, and I did two songs, two singles with him. I did "Just to Be with You," the one you did mention, and then we did um, the one I just said.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
still dream about me? Do you
Yes.
still dream about me is a song that I had done before, but we did it a little differently this time. And it's a song that I've always loved because it was written by a dear friend who's no longer with us. His name was Sammy McKinney, is Sammy McKinney. He's no longer with us. And I always loved that song. It was first recorded by Nancy Wilson, but I actually did the first demo on it. I recorded it first demo, but Nancy was signed to Columbia, and she recorded it on her Colombian album.
You wrote this memoir. What was that like doing that? Congratulations on it as well. Band of Gold memoir, Freda Payne. Tell us about this for folks who haven't had a chance to read it yet. And I encourage folks, go to Amazon and everywhere and pick up your copy.
Well, it started with Mark Bigo, who is a well-known and an experienced writer. He's written over 50 something books.
Yeah.
And Mark and it really, we started working on it just before the pandemic. And then when the pandemic hit, he's living in Tucson, Arizona. So almost the entire book was written just on us talking on the phone. Yeah. I would, dictate to him and be talking, about my life. And then he would send me a transcript of what he had recorded. And I would make a lot of corrections because he made, some mistakes here and there. And we went back and forth like that, back and forth for like, months and months. And then Band of Gold was released in 2021 in November.
What was
Yeah.
that feeling like when that was released and it's published and it's out there, your memoir? What was that feeling like when you actually got a copy in your hand and you saw it and you felt it, and then people started giving you their feedback? That must have been an extraordinary feeling, Freda, huh?
You know what amazed me was I kept thinking what people were gonna like bring up in having the one people who had read the whole book,
Yeah.
what they were gonna bring up.
Yeah.
And it's funny, it never happened like that. They never wanted to talk about or bring up, certain things. They brought up little things that I considered minor things in my life. I didn't consider it controversial, but it's not. I mean, some people are different. Just what you think is going to turn somebody on is not going to impress them at all,
Isn't that
and
surprising?
vice versa, vice versa.
Right. Exactly. That's quite amazing how that how that happens, right? It's quite the surprise.
Yeah.
But it's been very well received and it is beautifully written. And again, it's available on Amazon. Uh, what can people expect when they read it? Did you have a reader in mind, or is it really something for everybody? Everybody would enjoy it.
I think I think everybody will enjoy it. Yeah, it's like it's just I mean it's factual and it's my life and things that happened to me and my journey. So if anybody's interested in my life and my journey, then they're going to be interested in reading my book. It's like, what book I'm reading now? The Prince Harry
Oh, yeah.
Spare.
Yeah.
Spare.
Yes.
Yeah, Prince Harry.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I'm enjoying. He's good. I mean, you feel like he's sitting there talking, talking about his life and things that happen, and he's very much into detail. He's very
Yes.
much into detail. Yeah.
Yeah. Did
Hmm.
you have to do that? I mean, is it something where did you keep, or do you keep journals?
I never kept a journal in my life. I never kept a diary or a journal. In a way, I wish I had, because there's a lot of stuff I probably didn't put in there, or could have put in there, or couldn't, or just forgot about.
Yeah.
I don't remember. And I should have been writing, I should have been keeping a journal, but I never did.
So did you have to go back and sort of really relive or just remember a lot of these different events to be able to
Yes,
have
I
it
just
in?
had to remember stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's quite extraordinary too. You know, when you look at your body of work and your extraordinary career, what are some of your personal favorite moments in it? There might be moments that are different than what the super fan thinks would be the moments, but they're very special moments for you, Freda. What are some of those few moments in your career that really stand out as extra special for you?
Well, I think when I got my first gold record, Band of Gold, that was special. Um, and also, another special moment was, doing the first night I did Hallelujah Baby, when I did Leslie Uggams' role. That was very special. And then again, oh my goodness, I guess um, going to Europe and performing, at the Olympia Theater in Paris, when I was performing with Jerry Lewis,
Mm,
and that was was that 1971.
mm.
Um, Different moments like that. Um, yeah, those are some of the special moments.
You know, it's really amazing,
Being dubbed a dame, that was a special moment.
isn't it?
Being dubbed a dame, yeah.
Dub, there's another title for a book, Being Dubbed a Dame.
Being dubbed a dame by Prince von Brakovan of Romania. Yeah.
Unbelievable, huh?
And and then date, certain people I dated. Um there are moments when I was down, when I felt like I wanted to just give up and go back to Detroit and start all over again. And I think that's when, you know, I had gotten dumped by my fiance. That's in the book, Robert Potter. And Robert Potter was a drug dealer. And I didn't realize it at the time, but at the time it was a blessing in disguise. My mother said, she says, baby, it's a blessing in disguise. You know, he wasn't somebody that you would really want to be with, and especially marry. And I was in love. I was like 24, 23, 24 years old. And
Yeah, like right
so
around this time here. Yeah,
mhm.
23, right? Yeah. Wide-eyed and happy and curious and enthusiastic about
Yeah,
life. Yeah,
yeah.
and,
Hmm.
and passionate about it. And yeah, your mother was quite a force, a support system, a protective system,
Oh, she
and an
was.
inspiration for you, huh?
Yes, my mother was. She was all of that. And she she left us too soon. She died at the age of 56 of breast cancer in 1977. And I need, I was pregnant with my son. I was 4 months pregnant. And so this really hit me. It really hit me hard because, I mean, when you think about when you have a child, your first child, you want them to have a grandparent, grandparents. And my mother would have been his really his only grandparent at that time. No, he would have had two grandparents. He would have my mother and then my husband's mother as well. At the time, I was married to Gregory Abbott, who
Yeah.
later on, after we divorced, became a big. He got a hit record called "Shake You Down," and my God, he had a #1 record that was #1 on the pop charts and the R&B charts at the same time. And but this didn't happen till after we divorced, so it's a good thing we divorced, because probably never would have happened.
You might have provided some inspiration that caused it to
Yeah,
happen.
well, like they say, things happen for a reason. Things
Yes.
happen for a reason.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that too. I really am.
Um,
How have you been through, when we chatted, we were sort of in the thick of that pandemic. What are some things that you've learned about yourself during the course of this extraordinary couple of years that we've all experienced individually and collectively? What has Freda Payne learned about life and about herself during that time of reflection during the last 3 years or so?
what I've learned about myself. Oh God. That I'm a survivor, like a lot of us are. I'm a survivor, and that um, I can be, you know, I was able to adjust. Some people couldn't adjust that well during the pandemic. I was able to adjust and just go with the flow. Go with the flow, be safe, wear a mask. Oh, by the way, I am vaccinated. I actually have friends. I have friends who never got vaccinated. I'm not going to say, I'm not naming names, but no.
There might
And
be another book.
that's enough. No, no, but here's the funny thing is that they never got COVID. They've never been sick unless they have, and they haven't told me about it,
Yeah.
because I don't see them all the time anyway. But
Yeah.
no, I got the 2 shots, and then after that I got when the boosters came out, I got 2 boosters. Now I didn't get a third booster, but now they're talking about people getting another, shot, another booster
A
shot,
fourth one. Yeah.
a fourth one. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I've heard as well. Absolutely. It's really exciting because there's so many wonderful things that you have that you've been working on and that you're doing as well. And, you know, I think one of the exciting things is that you've been able to share so much with the world in such an open and real way. Like you mentioned, being a survivor, that's really what you are. And that's very inspiring to others who are thinking about going into this business. The business has drastically changed,
Oh
hasn't it?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But you know what's so funny is that nowadays, like, remember I mentioned that as a kid, as a teenager, I started entering talent contests.
Yes.
Well, now you got talent contest on TV,
TV.
American Idol, The Voice, America's Got Talent, but it's like so much bigger and more. There's a
Pressure, stress.
there's much more.
Mhm.
It's like a talent contest on steroids.
Yes. With the whole world watching and judging you.
And they make it much. It's much harder.
Yeah.
Like I was watching. Was it the what? No, it was American. Was it American Idol with Lionel Richie? Is that American Idol?
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And they're in Hawaii, and so they were down to some of the finalists performing there. And I mean, each and every act, they were excellent. They were excellent. But then I could imagine the pressure, and you just know they got to be nervous. You got to be, you just know that. Because I remember when I did Ted Mac, I was on Ted, that was a national talent contest. I did Ted Mac. I remember how nervous I was,
Mm.
you know.
Yeah. Mm. So you're excited. Would you ever, if they called you and said, would you like to be a judge on one of those shows? Is that something you would consider?
Of course.
Yeah.
I would love it, because I've been doing this. I've been in the business.
Right. Froze right at
Six,
that point. Yeah. 60, right? 60.
60 years.
Is that not when you look, could you imagine, was that not a fast 60 or what? That went by in a New York minute, didn't it?
Years.
Wow. You know? What are some other things, Frida, that you still would like to do? Other things on your bucket list that you're like, I still want to do that. I still want to tackle that, or I want to do that again.
Let me see. Well, first of all, I want to get back. I want to star on Broadway. I want to be on Broadway again in a show that I'm in, headlining in or
Yeah,
starring in some kind of way.
sure.
That's what I want.
That would be great.
I want to do that. And what else? Well, there was a time when I wanted to do Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, yeah,
I've
sure.
never been asked, and now that now that I'm older and I've had like a knee replacement and a shoulder replacement, it's like forget it. But it would be ironic if they were to, call me now. I would have to go and get some. I'd have to go and get some shots or something. Start working out with a trainer, like jam up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you would be ready to go just like that. Here I am. Turn on the lights. I'm
Turn on
here.
the light. Light the light.
Boom. What
I got
are we
nothing
doing? The
to do
tango
but
or
the heights.
ballroom or
All right.
yeah, huh? That's a great shot.
Whatever.
Was that a whatever? Let's just do it. Was that a publicity shot or was this a
That
specific?
was one of my many publicity shots. And
Yeah,
the outfit I have on was designed and made by LSO Designs, Linda Stokes in Woodland Hills.
very nice.
Yeah, that was her creation.
Very, very nice.
LSO Designs, Linda Stokes.
There's the other one you were talking about earlier.
Do you still dream about me?
Me?
That's
Yeah.
that's the single that came out that came out like around the last summer
Yes.
or fall. Yeah. Do you still
Yeah.
dream about me? And
Just
that
to be with
was came out before Do You Still Dream About Me? Just to Be With You. It's on the Sound of LA. The Sound of LA.
And then remember this one too?
Oh, that was in
Pain,
the
Passion.
70s.
Yeah.
Pain and Pleasure.
Yes.
Pain and Pleasure. Freda Payne.
What a great title too, Pain and Pleasure, huh?
Yeah,
Playing off the
Pain
name.
and Pleasure.
Wow.
And I came up with the title.
Did you?
Yeah,
It's perfect.
I thought of that title. Yeah.
Yeah, we dug that out of the archives. That is something special. And then again, we were talking about this very special event that is coming up that you're going to be a part of with
April the 30th.
with the other ladies joining you as well, which is really, really exciting.
Yeah.
There, for folks that are watching, there is the website. Tickets are available at www.tbmpac.com. It will be live streamed. So obviously, if folks can't be there, it will be live streamed as well. And you can go to that same website to find out about the ticket opportunities via live stream. Producers, of course, Lynn Orman, Women of the Blues and Jazz, Tim Morganfield, the Barbara Morrison Performing Arts Center. And those media sponsors are KJazz Radio, KJMJ Radio, KOCI Radio.
Along with Sylvia Boyd and Bridget Rios Purdy. Yeah, they'll be performing. And there'll probably be other singers too, not just us.
And local representatives will attend the event and present the Barbara Morrison Performing Arts Certificate of Recognition to the performers for their continued commitment to keeping Barbara's vision alive through their performances and recordings. And the certificates will be presented by Tori Brennan Reese, founder of the Family Foundation Incorporated, which is wonderful. And historically, women performers in jazz have been mostly singers. Among them, of course, Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, Bessie Smith, Dinah Washington, as well as Sarah Vaughan, with the titles such as Mother, Empress, Queen bestowed upon them. And the tribute to Barbara Morrison and the Women of Jazz will explore songs from popular jazz artists as well as their own. Do you already have your repertoire, the songs that you're going to be singing? Is that already lined up for you?
No, not yet.
Yeah, still thinking about working on it?
Yeah, I'll take. It'll be a pleasure. It'll be a pleasure. I'll think of some things to do.
Isn't that nice to
Mhm.
give back in that way? I think it's really fantastic. Is there any genre of music, Freda, that you haven't tackled yet that you would like to tackle?
Uh, hmm. Well, I have done a little bit of country and western, but I did some things with a guy named Artist Phillips, and it was never released or anything. But if I could find it,
Yeah.
it was never put out or anything like that. But no, I'm happy singing. I'm happy singing jazz, and also most people identify me with R&B. Soul, R&B, and pop. Pop music, pop type stuff, and R&B music. But my what I like the most, what I like to perform the most, and I'm most comfortable in is singing jazz as well. But I can sing um, pop, pop music, R&B, hip hop. I can do that.
I've mentioned this before. I may have mentioned it the last time you were a special guest on our show, Frida. You also have a very buttery, silky, smooth, and very pleasant speaking voice as well. Just listening to you speak is melodic. Do you do a lot of narration and voiceover work speaking? Because if not, they should hire you for that because it's pleasant just listening to you speak.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm open to that. Of
Yeah.
course. Why
She's
not?
open to all these things I mentioned,
Yeah, why
American
not?
Idol and movies and Broadway and voiceovers. She's
Yes.
she's she's available. Give her a buzz, folks. And
Mhm.
but have you had a chance to do any of that with your beautiful voice, your speaking voice?
Well, what I have done stuff like that when I've done some narration or
Yeah.
like let's say a commercial or something
Yeah.
like that.
Is
Yeah.
Band of Gold as has it come out as an audio book as well?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
I guess it should I guess it should be, huh?
Yeah. With
I would
you
think that
doing
it
it.
should be.
Yeah.
It should come out as an audiobook.
People I love that they can listen to on their headphones in the car, at their convenience, right?
I know my friend. I'm a friend of my friend RuPaul.
Oh yeah.
He asked me that same question. He
Yeah.
said, "Are you going to do an audio book?" I said, "I
Sure.
haven't done it yet."
Well, here you got Jim Masters and RuPaul saying, "Hey, might be a good idea." And with your voice, I mean, that just will draw people right in, Frida, you know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you love this? What are the blessings and joys that are continued in your life, Freda Payne? What is it about all of this that you're enjoying? You're so passionate and affable and approachable and super talented and so kind and empathetic. People love being around you. They love your energy. I love speaking with you as well. It's always an honor and a pleasure. What are some of those things that keep your candle lit in your life?
Well, I think I have a dog, and his name is Teddy, and he brings me a lot of joy because it's like having a little child. And I get to talk baby talk to him. And also, I like if let's say if there's I like being with people who are fun and and affable, who were fun and good conversationalist, and people who um, we kind of like enjoy the same things in life. And of course, and then again, when you're in love with someone or you're dating or something like that. I don't right now. I'm not doing that right now, but when I have in the past, that's been very enjoyable. That's something that keeps me, energetic and alive.
Yeah. And the family, of course,
And the
and
family,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, and the
Being with
six,
family is great, is always great.
and they're quite successful. They're in these wonderful, industries themselves, making their
Oh,
own
yeah,
mark, right?
right. Sherry, my sister, Sherry Payne, and then my niece, Shoshana, Shoshana Payne Phillips. Yeah, they're all great. It's going to be this week. I can't wait. This week, it's coming up this Sunday. See, this her event, my niece's event, is coming up this Sunday at the American Jewish University in Bel Air. And it's going to be red carpet, and it's going to be gourmet dinner served and
Mm.
hors d'oeuvres. And then there's going to be a show, and she's going to feature her students. Will be performing, and I will perform, and my sister is going to perform with the Supremes, and singer Louis Price, who was with the Temptations. He's going to perform, and we're going to do a duet together.
How nice is that, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
That's going to be fantastic. I wish you lots of success with that event and also with the tribute to Barbara Morrison, another icon, and with the other ladies joining you as well. And
Yeah, that's the
continued,
following weekend.
that's
That's
the
the following
following
weekend.
weekend.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Continued
2 weekends
success.
in a row, I'll be doing
You are
stuff.
going to be on stage knocking it out of the park as you've done, like you say, for some 60 years, Miss Freda Payne. You are
Yeah.
truly an American treasure, a musical treasure on so many different levels. And you're such a delight to speak to, such a pleasant person, and so giving and caring and so super talented. I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I absolutely have with you. It's wonderful, and you're always welcome. I'll keep that porch light on for you, Frida.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have. It was really a blessing having you with us, Frida.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I've enjoyed it too.
And we sang happy birthday last time. What do we sing now? Happy spring. Happy spring.
Happy spring. Spring is here.
Spring is here. That's right. You're the best. Always a joy. You take care and be well. And thanks for all of the time and all of that you do. And let's definitely stay in touch. You're truly a blessing and an icon. I know you're very humble hearing that from people, but it's well earned. You've worked hard. Bottom line, like you said, you are a survivor and a
Yeah.
true inspiration for others who might be right now watching us and saying they're giving in, they're giving up on life, giving up their career or their
No,
passions.
never
Don't do
give up.
that.
Never,
Right.
never give up. I mean, I've heard this time and time again, even at the Oscars, when people won, they
Yes.
would they would say, they would get up there being very emotional, and they would say, never give up your dreams.
Yes.
Never give up. If you don't have a dream, you won't have anything to hold on to. Your
That's right.
dream is your faith, and your and your hereafter.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, if you don't have
Absolutely.
a dream, you ain't got nothing, honey. You got to have a dream. You got to have a something that you're thinking, even if it's something that it seems impossible. Like that song, "The Impossible Dream."
Perry Como, The
That
Impossible
the
Dream.
impossible dream, but
Hmm.
you got to keep on, and that keeps you going.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely right. So for anybody listening, pay heed to what Miss Freda Payne just said. She is wrapping with some beautiful advice and
Hmm.
gorgeous, gorgeous. Just want to show you Jane in Sweden says, thank you, Frida, for being here tonight. And thank you, Jim and Kathleen. Jane's in Sweden watching, and Kathleen's in New York City. Thanks for coming back, Frida. Great to see you again. You look wonderful.
Oh,
Joseph Rydone Jr. in Connecticut. Thank you, Ms. Payne and Jim. All these great comments. We appreciate everybody watching. Your website, of course, is I am
FredaPayne.com.
FredaPayne.com.
I
That's right.
am
I am.
FredaPayne.com.
She is. She is. You are amazing. Hope the show met whatever expectations you had. And again, truly thoroughly enjoyed this. And I hope you did as well, Frida.
I have.
You be well, and thanks for all the great time and continued blessings and joy and love and good health coming your way from us here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jim.
Bye-bye. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you again soon. The incomparable Freda Payne here on the Jim Masters Show. Absolutely incredible. We just want to show you a little bit here. IamFredaPayne.com. That is her website. Also, if you do want to get tickets, yes, you can get tickets to go. Let me just again tell you about the event on the 30th of April. Now, if you're watching this 6 months from now or 2 years from now, this will have passed. But the International Jazz celebration, the Jazz Day, that's, yearly. But this particular event, the Barbara Morrison Performing Arts Center celebration tribute to Barbara Morrison, featuring women of jazz to honor the memory of legendary blues and jazz vocalist, international performer, professor, community activist, and three-time Grammy nominated artist Barbara Morrison, is going to be happening again on the 30th. And it really is something special. Freda Payne's going to be there, and Sylvia Boyd and Bridget Rios Purdy going to be there as well. And it coincides with the International Jazz Day tribute and celebration. If you would like to get tickets, this will again also, there's the website right there. That's also the website if you want to live stream, get the live streaming opportunity. So say, for example, you're not necessarily there in California and you're not going to be able to go to the Performing Arts Center, but you would love to see and support this fabulous event, then that website there is where you can go to get, that's the link to get the live streaming opportunity as well. So that is really, really cool. There is her book, Band of Gold. That's her memoir. Wonderful conversation. Again, this is her return engagement, her encore visit here at the Jim Masters Show live series. This is her second time. You can watch the other episode when she was here. All of our episodes are archived on our YouTube channel, which is the channel you're watching, Jim Masters TV. You can see when she was here last year, and we sang happy birthday to one another. It was terrific. Some wonderful photos that we dug up in our research here. Wonderful conversation. And this was what was great, and what is usually always wonderful and special about the Jim Masters Show live series. If you notice, these aren't really interviews per se. These are conversations. So you get a chance to learn a little bit more about our very special guests, not just talking about the books, the CDs, and the concert tours. We talk about all that, but you really get a chance to learn a little bit more about what makes the person tick. Their empathy, their kindness, their joy, their passions, their struggles, their tragedies, their triumphs, everything that makes us all human. And as Freda said, she is a survivor on so many different levels. And this is, again, such a joy, truly, for me, your host, to have her stop by my show here and be so gracious and elegant in the process as always. And it's always amazing how we have these nuggets here on our show, right? We always have these special surprises and nuggets that happen during our show. And I really, really appreciate all these wonderful comments from our viewers watching all around the world, Kathleen and Linda and everybody. Don't forget, if you know somebody that would really enjoy this and they missed this episode while it was live, which it is right now as it's airing, you can share the episode on your social media. Let folks know that this will be archived in our archives, our JMS archives on our YouTube channel, so they can see it and never miss anything that we do here on the Jim Masters Show live entertainment, lifestyle, celebrity talk show series. Gang, if you also enjoyed it, we would absolutely appreciate and love if you can give us a thumbs up like on the YouTube channel right next to this episode. There's a big thumbs up icon. Click it. Thank you very much for those who've done it. Click the thumbs up icon, leave a comment, drop a comment on the comment section. The comment section is right underneath the episode on the YouTube channel. Leave a comment. We're very interactive. We see those comments. We really appreciate those who go the extra mile and take time to give us a thumbs up on our episodes and leave a comment. And we would love it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. That helps us big time as well, helps us continue to grow, reach millions more around the world. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of folks who watch our series, The Jim Masters Show, and have for coming up just a few short weeks. It'll be 3 years and hundreds of episodes for the asking and for the enjoyment. And I love putting these shows together. So spread the word. Don't keep it a secret. Help us grow together, because it does take a village as well. Thank you, Linda and Kathleen and everybody watching around the world. And again, thanks for all that you do to celebrate what we're doing here on the Jim Masters Show series. Want to let you know as well, just a couple of updates as far as guests that are coming on. Coming up this weekend, for those watching live, if not, this will already be archived, the one and only, another music legend, Tommy James and the Shondells. Rock and roll music legend Tommy James is joining us this Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And tomorrow, country and pop artist, singer, songwriter, musician Jesse Haynes is joining us. That's going to be an amazing episode as well here on the Jim Masters Show. And that's just the short list of extraordinary guests who are stopping by. One more time, we thank the one and only music legend, singer, and actress Freda Payne for joining us here as my special guest on the Jim Masters Show. We thank all of you for watching live or watching later. We don't say goodbye around here. We say see you later. Ciao, cheers, shalom. We say sayonara, take care, be well, cheerio, morilu, slancha, avida zain, and all the rest. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Jim Masters Show. Real pleasure. We also thank our good friends, Ralph Lampkin at LMG, and also Lynn Orman for their love and attention and support of our series as well. And we thank all of you. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Jane in Sweden, and everybody watching and having a good time with us here at the Jim Masters Show. I am your host, Jim Masters. Thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, take care, be well. See you on the next episode. I'll be right here waiting for you. Really cool to have you with us. Really, I appreciate that, and hope you'll join us again soon. Be well. Cheers.